Hey everybody, John Pluskina here, and I have been digging through the new material that was released by Wikileaks, and I wanted to share some of what I found. And also at the end of this video, I have a quick request for alert viewers, so stick around. Now, there's new material that has been released about Yemen and what the United States foreign policy in Yemen has wrought. The US, like in Syria, has been playing both sides and selling arms to questionable people and spreading misery and death and horror as only the American State Department seems able to do. Now, the thing is, that's not new. Unfortunately, I have already failed to get most people to care about what the Clintons and what the Obama administration has been up to in Syria, and what they've done in Yemen is pretty much the same stuff. Now, I personally wasn't aware of what was going on in Yemen, and so I'm really appreciative that WikiLeaks put this information out there to raise awareness about it. I imagine there's probably a lot of people in the same boat as me. So I'll be doing some more research on this to see if there's anything else we can learn from it besides US foreign policy is horrible, because we know that already. Another thing that came out was some diplomatic cables from 1979. Now, Julian Assange, if it was Julian Assange, calls this the year zero for understanding modern United States foreign policy. So I'm still looking through all that. I may very well make a whole video specifically about that stuff in the future. For now, what I wanted to talk about is the material that was leaked from H.B. Gary, a creepy tech security defense contractor. This is the military-industrial complex going online. So it turns out that they tried to use social engineering technology to spy on Anonymous on social media and on internet forums and chat rooms. Now, as you can imagine, Anonymous didn't take to that very well, and they hacked into HB Gary's servers and released tens of thousands of their emails to the world. Now, these leaks are actually old. This all went down in 2007. I had no memory of this story. I wasn't following politics that closely that year. It was a really busy time for me. But now these emails are out and in an easily searchable format, so I went in to dig around and see what I could find. And I found some pretty interesting stuff. One was a dossier on Julian Assange and a description of an attack plan to try to take down WikiLeaks. It's well worth a read if you want to see how the government thinks about whistleblowers. But most fun, I found this article, strangely enough, in the Daily Kos. They uncovered a fascinating document within these leaks, and something rare indeed. Kudos from me to the Daily Kos. But when kudos are earned, they must be dispensed. So it turns out that in some of these emails, HB Gary employees discuss using fake social media personas to try to guide discussions on social media and in the comment sections of other kinds of websites. This kind of thing is unheard of in the world of corporate marketing and astroturfing, but it is kind of creepy to think of government contractors doing it. But it gets worse. They also discuss the creation of software to enable small groups of people to impersonate huge groups of people on the internet in believable ways. Let's take a look. Persona management entails not just the deconfliction of persona artifacts such as names, email addresses, landing pages, and associated content. We custom developed either virtual machines or thumb drives for each persona. This allowed the human actor to open a virtual machine or thumb drive with an associated persona and have all the appropriate email accounts, associations, web pages, social media accounts, etc. pre-established and configured with visual cues to remind the actor which persona he or she is using so as not to accidentally cross-contaminate personas during use. Don't worry, it gets even creepier. Using the assigned social media accounts, we can automate the posting of content that's relevant to the persona. In this case, there are specific social media strategy website RSS feeds we can subscribe to, and then repost content on Twitter with the appropriate hashtags. In fact, using hashtags and gaming some location-based check-in services, we can make it appear as if a persona was actually at a conference, and introduce himself or herself to key individuals as part of the exercise, as one example. There are a variety of social media tricks we can use to add a level of realness to all fictitious personas. So government contractors were looking into astroturfing and using these fake sock puppet social media accounts to drive public opinion all the way back in 2011. And that was a long time ago, so I imagine that their research and technology has probably come a long way, and I find that absolutely terrifying. So I started doing some of my own research to see if I could find other incidents where the United States government or other governments were using this kind of technology to drive opinion on the internet. And so I found that China issues about 440 million phony social media posts per day in an effort to drive public opinion. But it turns out they don't use software or any sophisticated techniques for this. They just make government bureaucrats do it in their spare time in between writing big, long, boring reports, I guess. I find that really entertaining and funny for some reason. Now, allegedly, the United States government is not permitted to do this on American soil in English by U.S. law. But you know how the government is. They have a tendency to get creative. So apparently what the United States government does in these circumstances is they outsource this kind of stuff to the UK. Snowden leaked material related to this. There is something called the Joint Threat Research Intelligence Group, a task force under the British version of the NSA. Now, we know that they are active against Anonymous and other hacking groups. They've also acted against governments of states like Iran through social media sites and online forums and chat rooms. So this makes me wonder, just how many people that you meet and talk to and interact with online are actually just government-controlled or corporate-controlled, sock puppet, phony social media accounts? And it makes me wonder, how many of you, my beloved subscribers, are actually just government sock puppet accounts or corporate sock puppet accounts? But I don't know, I don't think so. Something tells me that the NSA and some British creepy spy organization just aren't cool enough to follow a YouTube channel like this one. You ladies and gentlemen and my subscribers are way too cool for that. So subscribe if you haven't already. I will continue this line of research when I can, because I suspect that there's probably things related to this that we aren't aware of that we should be aware of. So if you have any ideas about things like this that are going on that I missed, or if you have any ideas on how I might be able to find more information about stuff like this, please let me know in the comments. I've actually already had some very kind offers to assist with research and some interesting suggestions and things in the comments, and I always appreciate that, and I invite you to participate more. And as we get more and more subscribers, I would like to turn this into almost like a crowdsourced journalism outfit where we cooperate on this together, and I present this information for everybody to learn. I think that that's probably more productive than these giant corporate news outlets, and I'll do everything I can, as always, to try and make it entertaining as fun. I will get back to doing comedy once I get through these really creepy and terrifying stories that are in the news right now. So, as always, it's a harsh world out there, my friends, so please, please, keep thinking. Bye-bye.